Hi guys, let's talk about what your assignment is for today, okay? If when you take a look at, let me move this thing. I don't know if you can even see it. Let me see if I can move it. Ah, man, I can't believe we did this all last year. Okay. So if you look at your assignment, let me move it one more time. Let's watch Mrs. Pasico fumble around for a half hour. Okay, here we go. So if you take a look at this, here's what you're going to be doing. Um, Basically, you're going to be working off a website called Castle Mendeleev, and you're going to have a Google Doc open. So I would suggest as soon as you can, and as soon as you've seen this video, that you click on this website, which will take you to this. Ooh, very spooky. This is super old school and 90s. So it's got some very interesting graphics on it, but it still works. And then also Castle Mendeleev Google Doc. So open that up. Okay. And basically what we're going to do first is let's just read through this type or this what's written right here. Okay. So it says, "Welcome to Castle Mendeleev." This is Mendeleev here. Yikes. Doesn't he look like he definitely had, in a time when there wasn't COVID, he definitely had a beard and hair. Kind of interesting looking guy, but a really, really smart scientist. And we're going to find out a little bit more about him. If you want to, for extra kicks, you can click on and go to YouTube and hear a very wicked laugh, even though he wasn't a wicked
If
man.
you or a loved one are
Oh, no.
farsighted, nearsighted, or suffering from macular degeneration, cataracts, RP,
There we go. Here's going to be the creepy laugh. Okay. There we go. Anyway, let's go back to Castle Mendeleev. Where was that? Okay. All right. So if we take a look at this here, it says you and your friends have been magically transported inside an 18-room castle built by the famous chemist Dmitri Mendeleev. Mendeleev is actually given the most credit for coming up with the periodic table in the very beginning. He kind of figured out how it'd be organized and started working on some of the earliest boxes and organization tables. So we really give him the most credit for it. So what you're going to do in a very Halloween type esque thing is he's going to follow you through some rooms in the castle, and you have to solve what element you think he's talking about to get yourself into the castle and out. Okay, so let's take a look at the next section. It says each room is entirely made from one of the elements of the first three rows of the periodic table. No element is repeated. Each element will appear in the state, solid, liquid, or gas. It keeps at room temperature. You do not know where in the castle you have been transported. A holographic image, whoa, of Mendeleev will accompany you on your journey, giving you clues to help you determine which room you are in. Each time you identify the element a room is made of, you will be transported to another room. Once you travel through all the rooms, you'll find your way out of Castle Mendeleev. Okay, so this is just another copy of the website. If you click on that, it takes you to Castle Mendeleev also. All right, so let's go down. So here's what it says you have to do. It says, for each room, list the clues that you read that will help you determine the composition, or basically what the element is for each room. So each room is known for being an element, and it's going to give you clues to an element, and you have to figure out what it is. So it says examples of clues that will help are the number of protons, the number of neutrons, the number of electrons, the state of the element, and the name of the family the element belongs to. So here's what you're going to do. So you're going to start in room one. So we're going to go back to Castle Mendeleev here. So let's go back to room one, and you're going to read through room one. So I'll quickly do it with you. It says, you and your friends have suddenly materialized in a room made entirely of a shiny, metallic solid. So we know this room already is shiny and it's a solid. So I'm going to go back to my sheet because I'm going to try to get clues as to what element this is. So I'm going to type in shiny and solid. Okay. I don't know what element that is yet, but let's keep going. All right. It says a shimmering holograph appears before you. It's an old man with long brown hair and a full beard streaked with gray hairs, wearing a full-length 19th century top coat. It is Dmitri Mendeleev. Whoa. The scientist says this room has been constructed by a strong, lightweight, corrosion-resistant metal composed of atoms containing 3 valence electrons and 13 protons. Now, you might look at that and be like, uh-oh, I have no idea what this means. But you might have noticed it's lightweight, strong, and it's a metal. Okay. And then it says something we can't figure out. It has 13 protons. So those are the kind of things I'm going to write in my sheet as clues. So, and you know what? I was in the wrong spot there. So it should be light, strong metal. And then I could say that it had, and I have to go back because I already forgot, has 13 protons. That we can do, right? 13 protons. So I'm going to go back and write 13 protons. And for some reason, that is coming up very tiny. Let's fix that. 13 protons. Okay. So then basically, here, let me fix this. So then basically, what you have to do now is look at a periodic table and say, okay, what is a metal that has 13 protons? If you remember, we can find protons by looking at the top number of the periodic table, right? The top number of the periodic table. So if I go into where the periodic table is, okay, and I'm going to put a link. So if you go back to Google Classroom, there's a link to a periodic table. I think I'm also going to put it in Castle Mendeleev here. But if you click on it, it'll take you to the periodic table looking for 13 protons. So if I look, I know the number of protons here is at the top. So I'm going to look for 13, and we know it goes in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, da, 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 all the way to 13. And there, I see aluminum, and the symbol is AL. So what I'm going to do is type it into my sheet, capital A, lowercase l. Okay. So this is the code I'm going to need to get into room 2. So now I'm going to go back to the creepy website. Okay. And I'm going to click on room 2, and I'm going to put that element symbol in there. So capital A, L. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to move rooms. So now it's given me new clues. Okay. So now I can move rooms. So the next thing I'm going to do is read about this room, look for the clues, and then try to figure it out. So let's try the second one together. Okay. It says the next room you find yourself in is made of a clear, life giving gas. So there's a hint. So I'm going to go down here to number 2. We're in room 2. I'm going to put clear, life saving gas. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to the room. Whoa, he's acting up again. Whoa, it's old school. All right, anyway, suddenly Mendeleev appears again, saying this element's a non-metal. It comprises about 20% of the air. It has 6 valence electrons, which we really don't understand what that means. It combines with most other elements to form oxides, and it's in the atmosphere. So some of those clues, I am not very, it's hard for me to really notice, but I did, or to understand, I did notice metal. So now I'm going to go over, and you just kind of take the small clues that you can, that it's a metal. Okay, so take small parts of what's written there to help you. Here's the real thing, though, is that whenever it's kind of tricky, there's always going to be a nice little hint for you down here to help you after you do the hints. So check this out. It also says, hint, you breathe this air into your lungs every day. Oh, what do I breathe in? I breathe in oxygen. So I'm going to put a capital O because that's the symbol of oxygen. So now I'm going to try going into the room, and let's see if just capital O, and you have to capitalize it, gets me into the room. Ta-da! Now it shifts to room 4. Okay. Or in room 3. So let's do one more together. Okay. Again, you're going to read it, look for clues. Then it's going to help you jump to the next spot. Okay. So it says, next, you and your friends are transported to a room made from a yellow or green yellow gas that burns your nostrils and your throat. So toxic green yellow gas. You reach into your packs for gas masks to protect yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go immediately. I'm going to go down to 3, and I'm going to say green, yellow, toxic gas. So there's a clue right there. Okay, then I'm going to go back and read the rest of it. It says, for the third time, a holograph of Mendeleev speaks to you through the gas. You realize that this gas, when combined with sodium, makes a good flavoring for meat and french fries. For the third time, a holograph of Mendeleev speaks to you, and through the shifting gas says, this diatomic gas is a halogen, which has 3 electron orbits. So that's pretty tricky and a little bit beyond our head. So reading that, you kind of get an idea that it's a green-yellow gas. So because that's a little tricky, what I did is I put in a hint. So when we go back here, it says, hint, too much of this in the pool can bother you. So I start to think of a gas that I know about, and something also in pools. And I notice and I remember that, oh my gosh, when I go into the pool, my eyes turn super red. And that's from chlorine. Is chlorine on the periodic table? So let's go and look. Chlorine, yes, Cl. So now I'm going to go to my answers and put in capital C, lowercase l, and let's see if that gets me into the next door. So now I'm going to click room 4, capital C, L, and see if it gets me into the next door. Yeah, okay. So if you notice, if I just put something random in, it's not going to let me advance to the next clue. So I have to get it right and able to be able to move to the next clue. I will give you a hint though. As we get a little more difficult here, see, notice how I'm giving you lots of hints. So what you're going to do is read what's in the room, write down one or two facts based on what I'm asking you to do. So if there's one there, you just write down one. If there's two, you're going to write down two facts. Then look at this hint here to really help you. Like this one on number 5 says atomic number is 2. Remember, the atomic number is the top number, the top number. So when we go to the periodic table and the top number is 2 for that, I would just have to go to, okay, here's 1, here's 2. Oh, that must be helium, just to double check that my clues were right. And then you're going to put that in there. And you do have to go in order to do this. So I recommend going through each one, taking your time, looking at the clues, filling this out, putting in the clue in, and then going back to the website. Okay. And like I said, I'll also put over here another copy of the periodic table, and there should be a link in there as well. Okay. I would recommend that if you're doing this at home, that you spread this out through 2 days, just because it can be a lot, especially getting used to. If you look at it, it looks kind of long, but it's 18 rooms. So maybe do 9 today, 9 tomorrow, because this will not be due until, let's see, what's today? Until Thursday. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions. Rewatch any part of this video. Good luck, everybody. Don't let the ghost of Mendeleev get you.